Hi guys, in this video we are going to learn about CodeIgniter, how to install it, how to configure it on the Linux platform, that is on AWS or any physical system or the VMware. Then you can try it on that also. But for the live production or the test servers, how to install it, how to configure it, we will going to learn all these things in this video. So why we use this CodeIgniter? Because if you are going to develop a PHP based framework, why we are going with the PHP framework? Then if you are building a dynamic website who has a very large database and you wants to upload lots of images or the files, then compression techniques or the zipping techniques, these all techniques are supported by this CodeIgniter. And if you want to develop a full featured website, then obviously these things are must be included in your website. For that purpose, the CodeIgniter is the best option, and it also supports for the so many databases. That's why users who wants to develop their application or the website who has the large database and the so many things combined in their website, so they prefer to the CodeIgniter. So right now we are going to install the CodeIgniter on our AWS Linux AMI or the Linux EC2, and then we will configure it, and finally we will get the result, like we will able to see the web page or the website by the CodeIgniter. So without wasting time, let's continue to our video. Let's continue to our lab. So guys, we will start our lab. We will configure one EC2 instance and then we will install CodeIgniter and configure it on the same server. So without wasting time, let's start. I will just click on the EC2 instance and I will give name as a CodeIgniter, and then I will select Amazon Linux AMI, which is a new one, I guess. Yes, Amazon Linux 2023. So it's very new. And for the free tier architecture, you can use up to 30 GB data, so you can increase the size up to 30, but in our case we don't require it. And if you already have this key pair, then you can select it from your list. I already created so many pairs, so I will select one. If you don't have any key, then you can create new key by clicking just here. Also, I wants to allow this HTTP and HTTPS connection, so I select these options and directly I can click on launch instance. It will simply create instance for me and it will take 2 minutes to up our server. This is our server CodeIgniter. This is the previous one, so we have to wait till this server is up. And if you want to know how to create the EC2 instance server, then I already made some videos on it. I will give you link in description, as well as you can click on the I tab and you can watch that video. Okay, we will just refresh our page. This status check should be 2x2 check so that we can proceed to our server installation. Yes, you can see 2x2 check is there, so we can connect to our server. Let's get its IP address. I will use MobiXterm, so I will create new instance, new session. I need to place my IP address here and host name here, server name, sorry. I have also downloaded and already configured this key, so I will just select that key which is selected at the time of instance creation. Now it will ask for your confirmation, and yes, we are there. Now you can see Amazon Linux 23 we have selected latest one, and now I will take sudo access so that it will not ask me again and again for the sudo access. And first command we need to enter is yum update. We have to check now everything is up to date and we don't need to do anything. Now first thing is, whenever we are going to install any lamp server, like for whatever we are installing, like WordPress site or any static web page or CodeIgniter site or the Magento site, whatever it is, the first thing we need is the lamp server. So before that we need to install lamp server, and for that purpose we will run one command and it will install the httpd and the php simultaneously. So here is the command and we'll install each and everything. We are installing Apache web server instead of nginx because Apache has so many pros. And if you want to know more about it, I also have made one video on this topic. You can go to my channel and select playlist and you can watch it. Simultaneously, we have installed PHP as well as HTTPD. You can start HTTPD here. Systemctl start HTTPD. Okay, it is started. You can check its status. It's disabled. We have to make it enable. Systemctl enable HTTPD. Now again you can check status and it should be enabled. You can see here it is enabled. Now if I go to the my IP address and if I check, then it works. So my Apache HTTPD server is installed. You can check simultaneously php-v so that you will get the PHP version. I have installed 8.1.14. You can check my command. In single command I have installed HTTPD, then PHP and MySQL. You can simultaneously install multiple applications as well. Now we have installed the prerequisite. Now we'll start the database. To install MariaDB, dnf install MariaDB 1.05, it's 10.5 server, and it will install MariaDB server for us. It is same like MySQL. For the Amazon Linux, we have to install the MariaDB because it is MySQL is paid version, and instead of that we can go with the MariaDB. And yes, our database is installed. Now we have to start the MariaDB. Systemctl start MariaDB. Also we will enable this so that if our system our server gets restarted, that time it will automatically restart. Yes, it is. And if you want, you can check its status so that you will get confirmation that whether it is running or not. You can check here, it is enabled and running. Okay, we have installed and started HTTPD as well as MySQL, or you can say MariaDB. Now we'll log into the our MariaDB. For that purpose you can use command MySQL -u for user, and username is root and with password. So I will not keep any password. I will just hit enter, and now we have to configure database for our CodeIgniter. So for that purpose we have to create database, and I will create database as a CodeIgniter. I will give name as a CodeIgniter. So keep in mind that this information is very useful to configure your CodeIgniter.conf files or the configuration and the database files. So whatever database name you are giving or the username or the password you are creating, just keep in mind or just try to note it down somewhere so that it will not create any trouble for you while configuring this web server. So we'll type create database space database name CodeIgniter. Okay, it is enough for me, and semicolon. It is done, and now we will create user. So create user, and I will give username as a CodeIgniter user, and host name is a localhost. We have to provide password as well. So for that purpose we have to write identified by. Here you have to mention password. I will give password as a password so that you will also get idea what credentials or the what values you have to enter at these places. Password is equal to password. I will just hit enter, and then we have to provide the privilege for this database and for this user. So for that purpose we have to type command grant privileges on our database name. Our database name is CodeIgniter dot star to username, and in our case our username is CodeIgniter user, and where @localhost. Sentence complete, hit enter. Oh, there is some error. We have write one. There is one mistake here. We need to put all privileges. Now it's done. You can type exit and exit from database. Now we have to download and configure CodeIgniter. Okay, so for that purpose we need to download first CodeIgniter. Either you can download it from the CodeIgniter site or from the Git. So it's better you download it from the Git because it's very simple. Git is not installed in my system, so I will install Git first. Yum install Git, and I will give you the path from where you can download this CodeIgniter. So I will directly download it to the cd/var/www/html. Here nothing is there, so I will download that CodeIgniter here. Git clone and the link. I will give you link in description box. You can check it. So it is downloading. It will take approximately 10 to 15 seconds maximum. Yes, you can check CodeIgniter our folder is there. Inside this folder there are so many configuration files. You can check it. This configuration files we need to edit, and now we will configure this CodeIgniter. I already told you that you have to remember these credentials which we have used for our database configuration. So we have to edit that configuration file right now. So just go, you need to go to the cd applications. Inside this application there is one config file. Inside this config file is database.php is important file. You need to check it. And one more thing, if you have downloaded the another version or the different version of CodeIgniter, then there is some differences, like this application folder you can see as a app only, or this config folder his C is capital. So scenario is same, only the caps and the names are the little bit differences. So you don't need to get confused in between this. Everything is same, you just needs to rectify the things. So here we have to edit this database file. So find database not php, and we have to make some changes in this database file. If you remember, we already gave name as a CodeIgniter user as a username and password as a password, plus our database name is CodeIgniter. Okay, that's enough. Just save it and quit from here. Simultaneously you can check whether it is or the reflecting or whether it is working or not. And if you remember, we have configured our database or file when we have configured our server, we have selected some of the rules, like we have selected https and the SSH port, but in this case we have to enable our database as well. So we have to edit our inbound rules, and in that inbound rule we have to allow the MySQL traffic for the MariaDB or the MySQL server from anywhere with IPv4 address, so that they can communicate with your EC2 instance. Again I will go to the instance. Okay, now it is our configuration is almost done. Now what happened, by default this page this web page is, when we install HTTPD server, it is loading the default page. We have to change it to our CodeIgniter, like this. We are at var www.html and CodeIgniter folder. Our current location should be this, and by default static pages are located at var www.html, but inside that we have already made one folder CodeIgniter, and we have to replace this path. In your case, you if you wants to give the website name, then for this particular folder you can give website name, because In HTML folder we can host multiple website, and we can keep every website in HTML only. So for that purpose we can for just of the sorting or the segregation, we can give name as a website name each. So we have to configure it accordingly. First we have to go to the /etc/httpd. Here you will find all the configuration file related to this Apache web server or the HTTPD web server. So cd conf, and we have to edit this httpd.conf file. Here one document root is there. Yes, document root, and in this root we have to give the appropriate path. We have CodeIgniter folder, and inside that we kept all the files. So we have to change this document root to the var www.html and CodeIgniter. Same thing we have to do with this directory as well. CodeIgniter. Okay, and one more thing. This CodeIgniter mainly used for the PHP pages, and your web server should know that which default page to be loaded. So you can just add index.php as well here, and just save this page and quit from here. After that, systemctl restart httpd. Now just check whether your Apache server is loading any page. Yes, and yes, we have successfully installed the CodeIgniter, and now your website is directly loading, or the loading your CodeIgniter web page. Most of the times the new users or who don't know, they are saying like, this is the CodeIgniter default page, then I already have my CodeIgniter data, then where should I keep it so that it will visible for the public? So inside this folder we have given path as a var www html and CodeIgniter. So you just need to remove all these files, and you have to paste all your CodeIgniter data in this folder only, so that CodeIgniter can show the application which you have created or the website which you have created, your data. So you can replace all the data only inside this folder, so that you can serve the proper website which you have developed for the CodeIgniter. So guys, this is it for now. From this video you learn how to install CodeIgniter, how to configure CodeIgniter, how to configure the databases, what are the prerequisites required for this CodeIgniter, and how to make the instances on the AWS and everything. So I hope you like this video. Please like this video, share this video with your friends, so that they can also develop the website or they can learn new things. And if someone is stuck at any point while developing any website with the CodeIgniter, then they also get some help with this video. Subscribe to my channel Knowledge Modulation to get new updates or the new videos related to the technology. Keep watching.